Hey everyone, J-Rod Plays here, and this video should help those teams who are struggling, very likely LFG teams of course, with getting damage in on Golgoroth, doing the bubbles without them popping early, or especially people who have trouble with gaze. If you have a team where there's really not two people on your team that are absolutely confident in their ability to hold gaze and get it flawlessly for all of the bubbles in the Golgoroth encounter, and you find yourself losing damage or losing time for the bonus time during the Oryx Exalted Pantheon, to try to get this done, you can actually just cheese basically the whole mechanic when it comes to the bubbles. The idea behind this has been going around on like YouTube Shorts and TikTok, and probably somewhere on Twitter, but those are the two that I've kind of seen. People started to use the strategy, and I decided to test it out with my team today, and it works okay. It's not the end-all be-all because the fact that we're minus 10 power, but it's actually a pretty good option for people to just do consistent damage. If you're having trouble getting consistent damage, if you're having trouble with clearing ad waves that are coming at you while you're doing damage to Golgoroth, because you're not going to get the precision damage bonus where you could put up big damage on Golgoroth to try to kind of catch up when you do it this method, but you are going to get consistent damage overall, and it's actually a lot simpler than trying to figure out, your rotation, your bait and switch, all of that. The way this cheese works is that you're going to get all 6 people down into the pit. No gaze is going to be taken. You pop the first bubble, and you're actually going to be able to still do explosive damage. That's the key, explosive damage to Golgoroth, and he'll take full damage from it from that first bubble. So you can use grenade launchers, you can use rocket launchers. Those are going to be the things that you're going to want to focus on to try to get this done. I prefer grenade launchers because of the ammo economy, also because of the fact that this week you're going to have these solar and stasis burns, and so that's going to open up some additional options for you when it comes to doing grenade launchers. You can still do the bait and switch edge transit if you have a bait and switch edge transit, and it works just fine. If you have a cascade point edge transit, it works just fine. But what's really going to make the difference is going to be if you have something that has the burn, for example. So I have like a Typhon GL, and that particular one is going to be Demolitionist and Explosive Light. And the Demolitionist and Explosive Light is going to allow me to stack up in the ad waves the orbs, and those are going to give me explosive lights, like times 6 roughly is what I ended up usually with when I would jump down there. So you're going to get down there with your explosive light grenade. You're going to be able to get a ton of damage in a short period of time, and you have to do that because you're only going to get one bubble. You're going to empty your mag, throw a grenade out there, empty your mag again, and then if you have more time, try to get some more shots out there or switch back to your primary GL. The GL that I was using was going to be a mountaintop with recombination on it and ambitious assassin. And why that was important was because what I would do is I would start the ad wave, get a kill with it. I have 2 grenades now, then I would stack up recombination. So when I jumped into the pit, I would shoot them twice with my mountaintop, 1 recombination round and then another one, and then I would switch to my Typhon and I would just unload heavy ammo on the boss, throw my grenade, unload the other clip that I had, which was 7 rounds because of the roll that I have. It ended up being a really strong DPS option because during the bonus time, we were pushing the bonus time roughly every time just because not everybody was able to get as much damage. But I was getting like 5-6 mil in with that setup. So I thought that was pretty fitting for a setup that we're not doing any kind of precision damage really. We're not having to worry about going bubble to bubble. We just drop in there, pop a well, take advantage of our abilities, and go ham with grenade launchers, and just get back out again, kill an ad wave, come back in. And so it's not all perfect, and it's not going to be like the meta when it comes to doing damage with Golgoroth, because you can technically do more damage with a well-coordinated team doing it right, and you're going to do more damage faster doing it right. So for like contest mode, probably not going to work. But I imagine for the plus 15 and for this week for the plus 10, it would be just fine, because when you get into the pit, you still have unstable light, so you're still going to have 2 people with unstable light, and as long as you space them out good, they'll both be able to get the unstable light damage in on the boss. Just be careful not to get bounced back into your teammates, for example. That's happened to us a couple times, because you will still get stomped by Golgoroth when you're running around him, and everybody's going to be in tight quarters. Another downfall of this particular strategy is that Golgoroth will come towards the group sometimes, and he'll start to smash, start to push yourself to the point where your grenade launcher is doing self-damage. If you're in a well, you can still handle it. You just have to watch your health and make sure you don't just DPS yourself down, because you'll take chip damage as you go. Each shot will do like a quarter of your health, so you have to stop and let your health come back really quickly, so that way you can avoid deaths, because with this method, you want to make sure that you're not stepping in front of people. That was another big issue we were having, was people moving around and twitching and stepping in front of somebody. You want to crouch if you're down in front so the people in the back can shoot up and over you. You want to make sure that you touch the pool and then spread out. You don't have to all be in the pool, because that's another problem, is trying to get all 6 people in the pool is a little bit of a struggle. So sometimes you want to just kind of touch the pool and step out, get your clip out, and then kind of touch the pool again, but going behind everybody and not in front of everybody, because again, you're going to get yourself killed or somebody else killed if you cross paths. And so it's up to you to kind of figure out where you're going to land every time in that sequence. You're going to make sure it's clean. You're going to get out as much damage as you can. And what we were doing is, on a good run, we were doing about 40% of his health in a good run. So it was going to be a 3-phase regardless. And that's pretty tight if you do a 3-phase. It's even tighter if you do a 4-phase. We actually completed it with the tightest finish that you could get. We killed him with 1 second left, and it's amazing. And it is actually, I'll have it in the video, was a kill from Unstable Light. Unstable Light went off at 1 second, and I was actually right next to him, and I moved over to the left so I wouldn't kill my teammates. We were trying to abort the run. We were actually going to start over again, and ended up killing the boss. So crazy. It ended up being pretty awesome doing it this way. But this is going to be, again, for teams that have real trouble with the gaze, for teams that have real trouble getting damage in properly, going from side to side. Like if you have a gaze person that's just all over the place and can't get Golgoroth facing the team so that you can shoot the crit spot, or they keep getting killed by random stuff like the ogre, or not shooting the axiom bolts, and you just know, okay, all 6 of us, there's nobody here that's going to be able to take up for that one person that's struggling, even if you swapped him out. Let's just go into the pit, drop the well, hit him with all our grenades, do another ad wave, which is what you're going to have to do, and get down. The bubble that is above Golgoroth will actually spawn in the ad wave once you've killed all the ads and the knights come out. When the knights come out, that's when the bubble's going to spawn. Now, you don't have to kill the knights. These actually are a pretty big time sink. They can waste quite a bit of your time before going to shoot the bubble and getting into the pit and getting all the damage. So what we started doing was, we would shoot the bubble, get into the pit, leave the knights up, get our damage in, and then as we're coming out, we kill the knights on the way back to doing an ad clear run. And so everybody's kind of in ad clear mode, and it's not all everybody running away or waiting, or nobody can see the knight, because as you break up into teams of 3, the knights are going to be right there. So you kill your knights, going to spawn another wave of ads, kill those waves of ads until they get to the point where more knights are going to spawn. And also, if you're in the Taken side of things, it'll be like a big ogre or a Taken wizard. It's going to spawn the bubble again, and then from there, you go back to doing your DPS, and you want to try to get this done in 3 phases. 4 is going to be tight. Like I said, 4 is going to be real tight. 4, you're going to be pushing up against the 1 second like we did. But if you still need to do 4 and you get those 4 ad clears in, you get it done, you get in there and you get your unstable lights in, you'll still be able to get it done in 4. So again, 3 is ideal. 2 is crazy if you have good DPS. 3 is about what most people are going to hit, most teams are going to hit. And then 4 is going to be like a last-ditch effort if you're struggling. 4 is going to be the way to go. Once you get all those waves done, he should have no health, and stable should kill him off, because it takes that last little chunk of health. And like, bosses tend to fall over when you do a bunch of damage in a short period of time and they have just like a little chunk of health left. And just to recap so that everybody understands kind of what they need, you're going to need a good grenade launcher. Try to match the burn. Some people were using Crime Mutiny because you can put Demo and Vorpal on it. So the rotation is to empty your mag with Vorpal weapon, and then you're going to hit your grenade and then empty your mag again. And that's going to give you a good DPS in a short period of time that first pull is going to have. I was taking advantage of the stasis burn using the Typhon GL5 with Demolitionist and Explosive Light on it. I would have 7 shots, I would throw a healing grenade and get 7 more shots. So that's kind of what I was doing for my rotation, and I was doing pretty good on that. And then if you don't have any of those 2, because I know not everybody has Season of the Plunder, and not everybody's going to be able to have a perfect Typhon roll, you can run some of the Edge Transit rolls that are dropping like candy from Onslaught. So just run some Onslaught and get prepared for the raid. And you can have an Envious Assassin with Bait and Switch. I believe like a Deconstruct roll might work as well, that some people were having success with doing it the proper way. But other than that, rockets also work. I didn't really get a chance to test because we were always running grenades, because those were like our best options for our group makeup. But I'm sure if you have like a galley with a bunch of like Apex Predators or rockets with the Reconstruction that have the ability to fire a bunch of rockets in a short period of time, demo rockets as well will work too. I know there was a Crucible rocket launcher that was like that we were using at one time, called the Blowout. And then, of course, there's the older rocket launchers that we were always using, like the Hotheads that had demo on it. So you can try a couple of different variations of the setup, and then once you wipe, if you do wipe, you can see the damage numbers and say, okay, that didn't work, let's make this adjustment. But what worked for us, again, was all grenade launchers, Mountaintop as well. So we were doing Mountaintop grenade launcher, and we were making sure that we were clearing the ads quickly as we could possibly, You want to make sure you kill the ads fast, but you also want to make sure that they step out of the doorway. If you kill them in the doorway, sometimes precious ammo that you do need for the other damage phases will fall into the area that you can't access, and you can't just stand next to it and have the ammo pick up from far away. You're just kind of there staring at the ammo like, I see my heavy ammo, but it's behind this stupid barrier. So hopefully Bungie fixes that at one point where the ammo will be a little bit more able to be picked up through that barrier. But for now, just make sure that the ads walk out. If you're using, like for me, I was using the Sunshot, I had to be careful not to hit the ad in the front. I would try to hit the ad in the back, so that forced all the ads out with the flinch. And make sure you kill the big stuff quickly, so the big ogre will spawn in the back. Taken wizard will spawn, I believe, during the taken side of things. There's like 2 taken ogres that are going to spawn as well if you get into the taken phase, which most teams will, because again, you're going to 3-phase it. So since you're going to 3-phase it, you're going to have 1 taken round at least. And then just make sure you're not, again, moving in front of people, twitching when you're in the puddle. You can touch the puddle and step out. I want to say it's like 6-7 seconds. You have the buff for that does full damage to Golgoroth. And even without the buff, you still do pretty good explosive damage to Golgoroth's body. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, if you have any additional questions, if you're running into problems and you can't just like straighten things out in your LFGs and you're just trying to get a little bit more advice, drop me a comment below and I'll try to answer your question in a timely manner. Thanks very much for watching to the end. Good luck, guys, and I hope you get it done this week.